Welcome to Being Real with Olivia. My name is Olivia Olinger and I love movies and shows. I have been recapping every episode of Arcane leading up to Season 2. This is Episode 7, so if you haven't seen the other episodes yet, go check them out. But if you have, then let's get started. In the previous episode, a ton happened. Professor Heimerdinger got kicked off of the council, and Victor is dying very rapidly. Vi reunited with her sister Jayce, but then the FireFlies came out to play. They kidnapped Caitlynn and Vi, leaving Jayce without her sister, and leaving the episode on a cliffhanger. So let's see what happens next. The episode starts with Vi and Caitlynn kidnapped. Vi gets taken away to the leader of the FireFlies, who reveals himself to be a familiar face. He's Ekko. Ekko doesn't trust Vi at first since he thought she was dead for years and then just randomly shows up with a Piltover enforcer. She explains to him what happens and then they reunite. This part made me cry, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I love Vi and Ekko's sibling-like relationship. It's so sweet. The scene then switches to a not-so-sweet part of Victor showing Singed the Hex Rune. If you remember from the previous episode, Singed was a scientist Victor knew from his past who created Shimmer through a mutation. Singed reveals that he used to work with Professor Heimerdinger, but he left when he started taking Shimmer because everyone kind of hated him. He gives Victor a tube and warns him that once he takes it, he can never go back. And he'll probably have the same fate as Singed did, with the council hating him and not liking his decision. But Victor needs it to survive and understand the Hex Rune, and he thinks Jayce will understand. Meanwhile, Piltover enforcers are searching everyone and patrolling the bridges. The bridge connects Zaun and Piltover, and they don't want any more crime than there needs to be, which has been working out in their favor. Silko's Shimmer business and trading all the sketchy stuff has been starting to go down, because they haven't been able to sneak it in. Silko is upset and wants to find Jayce. He's scared that she's gonna leave him for good and never come back. He knows Jayce found out about her sister Vi still being alive, but what he doesn't know is that Jayce and Vi have already met up. Speaking of which, Jayce is freaking out again, having a BPD panic attack, thinking that Vi left her again. She hates Caitlynn because she thinks that Caitlynn's taking Vi away from her, and she's jealous at how close Vi and Caitlynn have become. She just wants Vi all for herself. Which I don't blame her. I mean, she misses her sister and just wants to be with her again, and it looks really suspicious that Vi's hanging around a Piltover enforcer. When they were younger, Vi just wanted to get revenge on all of Topside. She wanted to go to war and she wanted to fight. Like, past Vi never would have befriended a Piltover enforcer. So Jayce is feeling a little confused and untrustworthy of Vi, thinking that she might betray her. Ekko is showing Vi their lair, which is thriving and beautiful compared to the rest of Zaun. He built a community of people and warriors who can stay and be safe or help fight and rebel. Ekko tries to explain to Vi that Powder is gone. Jayce works for Silko willingly, and she isn't the same. He wants Vi to give up and stop trying to save someone who doesn't necessarily want to be saved. I mean, Jayce does love her sister and want to be with her and want her back and want to believe that Vi's not going to betray her. But Jayce is on the evil side and she's working for Silko. I mean, would Jayce really go back with Vi and Caitlynn, or would she be caught between who she wants to stay with? Because Vi was her past, but Silko's her present now and future. And Silko and Vi could never work together because Silko is so far gone deep into his mind that he needs to make Piltover pay, and this is all their fault. He'd never work with the council. Jayce believes that she wants her old life back and wants to be with her sister, but would she be willing to put that into action and actually do that and leave Silko and everything that she's built and created in Zaun? I don't think she would. Meanwhile, Jayce finds Victor on the bridge on the side of Zaun. He yells at Victor for going down there. Jayce says it looks bad since he's a counselor now and his partner is going against his orders. Victor then explains that he knew of a friend who could help with the rune, which was Singed. Jayce then freaks out at him that he shouldn't have done that and he didn't know that his friend was from Zaun because those people are dangerous. Which leaves Victor stunned and offended that Jayce would say that since he was originally from Zaun. Victor was planning to tell Jayce about the Shimmer and how he believed he could use that to help with the runestone. But after Jayce freaking out at him and how he was being all ignorant about the innocent civilians of the Undercity, now he's definitely not gonna tell him. Silko has a meeting with the Chen Barons, who are basically like an evil council. They're like a circle of Silko's close allies who have been working with him down in Zaun. The Chen Barons are questioning Silko and want to go against him. They don't like that he's in cahoots with some of the topsiders, because now barriers and blockades just went up, so it's slowing down the Undercity's trade. And Silko seems to be struggling with his plan, which revolves around Jayce finishing the Hex Gem. Basically, Silko's plan has been on hold for a while now, since Jayce hasn't been able to figure it out, since she's been freaking out a lot, and people are starting to see that he's not actually putting anything into action yet. He reminds them what it was like before by unleashing Zaun's air into the room, which is really awful quality and toxic, and they were choking and dying from it. Silko gave them all life and a purpose and saved them from the lanes of Zaun and all the awful poverty, crime, and stuff going on down there. The Chen Barons have gone greedy and they want more. They forgot what it was like to have below the bare minimum and barely surviving and just be okay with that. Now they have way more power than they used to and they're not okay with that. They still want even more since they know that there's more to get. Silko put them in their place and showed them why they should not cross or mess with him. Okay, so I know Silko's like the bad guy and all, but he low-key ate with that. Like, Brett was a boss. He just completely was like, nope, I could kill you right now, but I'm choosing not to. And if you cross me or mess with my plans and me again, then I will kill you this time. I was like, oh, slay, literally. Jayce returns to Silko, who manipulates her again. He tells her Vi and Caitlynn are only back for the crystal and not her. Silko tells her that he needs Jayce to finish the Hex Gem, which is going to be kind of hard to do since Jayce doesn't exactly have it. Caitlynn does. Jayce believes him that Vi and Caitlynn are just using her for the Hex Gem, so she comes up with a plan to go get it back. Ekko and Caitlynn also came up with a plan to take the gemstone to the council. Caitlynn believes that Jayce will understand and he'll help Ekko and the innocent civilians of Zaun. If they bring the gemstone back, then the council can use it for good purposes and bring peace. Or so they think. Jayce hasn't been acting like himself ever since he became counselor. He's starting to change and act more like a counselor, putting the city of Piltover first in trade and making sure it's thriving and everybody's rich and successful. And he's not focusing on helping Zaun, Victor, and the lower class, which was the whole reason why they developed Hex Tech in the first place. And Caitlynn hasn't seen him like this yet, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. And the evidence I have to back me up that Jayce might not be willing to do what's morally right is because he's with Counselor Medarda. And she tends to like get her way a lot and just like worm all of her thoughts and ideas into Jayce's brain, convincing him that they're good and he should do that. Like this right here. Counselor Medarda wants Jayce and Victor to build weapons with the Hex Gem, going against any sort of chance they might have to reason and bring peace with Zaun. They know the gemstone is missing, and they still think that Jayce and them have it. Counselor Medarda doesn't know that Jayce doesn't have it anymore and wasn't able to build any weapons or do anything with it. She wants to stoop down to their level and make weapons with it in case there's a war and just get ahead and take advantage of the situation. Victor is against building weapons since he's a scientist. The council is for building weapons since they're soldiers. And Jayce is struggling to make a decision and he's indifferent since he's both now. He has to decide what to do and choose. Should he listen to the council or to his partner, who he kind of owes a lot to? Because Victor has been there for him through everything. And if it wasn't for Victor, Jayce wouldn't even be on the council, or he wouldn't have even been able to use Hex Tech. In episode 1 and 2, Victor was the one who convinced the council and like stole Jayce's stuff back from being decomposed and helped him. I'm just saying, if it weren't for Victor, Jayce would still be exiled and banned from the academy. Personally, I think they should not build weapons. I mean, the whole of Zaun is not a threat. It's just Silko and the people Silko's in cahoots with. And Piltover can probably defeat Silko and all of his goons because Piltover has a ton of enforcers and they have like more ground. The reason why they're struggling right now is because Silko is scaring them and they're giving him what he wants, which is to turn against each other and doubt themselves. Victor is ready to put his plan in action. He takes Shimmer and combines his blood full of Shimmer with the Hex rune, hoping it will save him. It's looking kinda sketchy right now and looks like it's doing the opposite effect. But that's just what it always looks like when someone takes Shimmer, so hopefully it's just like a 2-minute thing and they's like, oh, I'm good now. Meanwhile, Vi, Caitlynn, and Ekko head to topside to turn in their gemstone. Vi doesn't want to leave Jayce and she still wants to try and save her. She says goodbye to Ekko and Caitlynn and turns back. Jayce sees her hug Caitlynn and gets the wrong message. She was waiting for them on the top of the bridge to see if they would show up or not to turn in the gemstone, which she was correct. When Ekko and Caitlynn get to the border, she shows an enforcer the gemstone for proof and explains that Silko is behind every attack. The enforcer that she told this, though, happened to be Marcus. And guess who's in cahoots with Silko? Marcus. Marcus shoots Ekko and takes the gemstone, pointing the gun to Caitlynn. Oh yes, they both reach for the gun, the gun, the gun. Okay, sorry. Got a little bit of Hamilton in there. Vi hears the gunshot and runs back. All of a sudden, these green and purple butterflies fly by them, surrounding them. When they landed, they exploded, looking a lot like Jinx's work. Speaking of which, she comes out and is ready for revenge. Marcus dies, and Jayce takes the gemstone. She sees Vi and Caitlynn and shoots at them. Girl woke up and shows violence. Ekko comes forth and surprises Jayce, taking the gemstone from her and throwing it over to Vi and Caitlynn. He tells them to go and get away and he'll hold Jayce off by fighting her. This is my favorite fight scene in the whole show. I like how the art style switches and it brings back Powder and Ekko when they were younger. And they were just like having a paintball gunfight and they were just like, you know, fighting for fun like normal kids. It contrasts between how back then they were like having fun and they didn't realize like they never would have guessed now they were fighting to kill each other. After that fight scene, it goes to the real fight. Ekko knocks Jayce down and had a perfect chance to kill her. But he couldn't since part of him still loves her. She isn't the same though, and her mind has lost the capacity to focus on her emotions and actions and do anything before it's too late. She pulls out a bomb and it explodes. Where the episode ends on another cliffhanger of Jinx's very much dead looking face. So, to do a quick summary of the episode, here's what happened. Vi and Caitlynn have the gemstone now and they get away, probably going back to the council. Ekko and Jayce exploded themselves and are alive, knocked out, dead. We don't know yet. Jayce is debating whether he wants to build weapons with the Hex Gem, and Victor has put his plan of taking Shimmer into use, which ended that on the cliffhanger too of what's gonna happen to Victor. There's a whole mystery thing going on with Counselor Medarda. She got like a envelope with a interesting seal on it, and it kind of changed her mood from that point, and she got all sketchy about building weapons, making us wonder if the envelope has any ties to her past. We saw a small clip of Professor Heimerdinger, who looked like he was heading towards Zaun. Silko is struggling with his plan and doesn't know how much longer he can keep pushing things back. His followers are starting to grow suspicious. And last but not least, Marcus is dead, which I still have mixed feelings about that. We never really liked him as a character. We just could kind of sympathize with him since he had a daughter and he was just trying to do the right thing almost, even if it was in a completely opposite way. It makes you feel bad for Marcus's daughter too, because now she has no one. Her dad is dead and she has no parents left. We never knew if Marcus ever had like another partner and if maybe he was just like a single dad who adopted a daughter, or maybe like his partner died or something. But all we know now is things aren't looking too good for her. My favorite part of the episode was the stuff with the FireFlies. I love how Ekko was like the leader and he built up this amazing community where people could be safe and not have to live in constant fear and try to survive. In the scene where they showed that Ekko, like, made that mural painting of everyone they lost that day, like Clegger, Milo, Vander, Powder, it was really sweet. We only have 2 episodes left, episode 8 and 9. I'll probably just combine them and do like episode 8 and 9 as one recap video just because I'm running low on time. So I definitely will not be able to get like 2 episodes out before November 9th, which is when season 2 comes out. I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet. It all depends on how fast I can get this video out. And then I'll start reviewing season 2. This episode was pretty chill compared to the last one, but it definitely brought on a lot of events that are gonna lead to the resolution of this season. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, what you thought of this episode and show. I would really appreciate if you subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any reviews and recaps. And subscribing and liking, if you've enjoyed of course, would help bring a boost to my channel. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully I'll see you around.